Bernie White, our impeccable match referee, gets things going. Singles. Captain versus captain. The captain's log so far reads Leandersson 1, Mack 0. That could have been absolutely awful for Leandersson. It's not very good.
Well, by the expression on his face, I think he just threw this one badly. He is human after all. Just a sleeper to negotiate. He knows it could have been worse.
Yeah, it's a lot worse. But if you're going to get a poor one, get it done early. Steve Thornton, member of Team Europe, enjoying that one. And a furrowed brow for Thomas. And this fella's brow's been furrowed throughout this tournament. And I think the rest of us are as mystified as Tim Mack as to why he's just never been able to build up that head of steam. He'll get his strikes, but he won't get them consistently. And he almost left himself a huge problem right there.
Yes, he got this one too wide. Never really getting back to the pocket sufficient to guarantee a strike. Just his sheer power getting the 7 out there. He could easily have left the 7-10 off that one. That would have been harsh, mind you.
Yep, safely done.
So one spare apiece. And Thomas get back in the pocket now.
But to go back to Tim Mack and his strike problems, against Leandersson the first time they met, just 4 strikes in the match from Mack. It's most un-Tim-like. Well,
I reckon that around about 5 strikes a game would average you 200, and Tim averages way over that, so 4's a pretty poor performance from him.
So they both open up with a spare. The 10 pin is sitting there.
Thomas seems to have moved a little bit further to the left and throwing the ball a little bit wider, maybe with a little bit less speed, so that it gets back to the pocket too. But that one not carrying the 10. But a much better shot than his first frame anyway, so he'll be happy with it on that respect alone.
Should be routine. It is. Well, I can't believe this is going to carry on for too much longer. These 2 bowling spares. Slow start this from Thomas. Not what we expected.
No, he was playing really well in the previous match as well. Didn't miss the pocket, carried really well. He's really failed to hit the pocket on the first shot, at least adequately.
And
then didn't carry his second. I don't know what Tim's up to.
What's that all about?
Maybe something just disturbed him. Pulled out of the shot and just made a little joke out of it or something.
Doesn't that just sum up Tim Mack's game so far? I think there's a bit of movement in the crowd, but I mean that's not going to disturb a bowler that's bowled all around the world in high pressure situations.
Well, it just shows that maybe his mental side isn't as focused as it should be. If he'd really been flowing and bowling well, he might well have just gone through with that shot.
Well,
and now maybe he's wishing that he had. Tough break.
I didn't like it when he stopped in mid-bowl there like that. You never see good things come off that. And now you got that, the 7-10. Well, you talk about lane adjustments and adjusting to the conditions. You see that oil, the pattern of that oil will change as a match progresses. The great ones adjust with it. Mack. Oh, he almost got it. His luck's just out, isn't it?
Well, if anything, he actually put too much energy into that pin there, and it's actually gone flying up into the table of the machine and come bouncing back out. But
it's actually really cleared the pin, hasn't it?
It's gone right over the top of it, look.
When did you last see that?
How unlucky is that?
That was a deep sigh. So, an open frame. Does Leandersson do? Oh, that was horrible from Thomas.
Well, it really does look like this lane is in a changing phase at the moment, and the bowlers are struggling to cope with it.
You don't see these bowlers bowling this inconsistently. I mean, you're absolutely right. You hate to say it's the lane, but clearly something is going on out there. I mean, they've not managed to strike between them yet. This is unbelievable. This will probably be another open frame unless Thomas can find something very special. And he's unlucky too, just like Mack. He's absolutely out of luck.
Well, I can't believe this. He's had 2 bites at it and neither of them have been successful. First of all, you'll see the 3-pin fly across there and just go in front, and then the bounce out goes in front as well. I mean, he's got to feel he's been very, very harshly treated there, but then so must Tim.
This lane has got a bad sense of humour, I tell you. It's enjoying playing with these 2 world-class bowlers. Now, is this the first strike of the match? At last.
Well, Tim Mack taking evasive action on the ball return there. Didn't fall into the trap that Thomas did in the previous match.
Oh, he was jumping down and all the way around. So a strike at last. Now Leandersson leaves the open frame. He's got to get himself together now in a hurry. At last. So we're finally getting somewhere.
Well done, Thomas, but I'm not at all convinced by this one. This is a bit heavy.
Oh, it is, yes.
Relying on tripping the 4 and could easily have left the 10 up as well. Both pins going late.
So can Mack get a double here? Nope. We kind of knew the answer to that one already, didn't we, Richard, really? I mean, it's been uncanny.
Well, it very much is a case of one swallow not making a summer.
Very light. I mean, he got what he deserved, didn't he? He did not deserve a strike off that ball.
Absolutely not. Nowhere near.
The spare should be a formality, though.
See Tim Mack's face when he threw that spare. He wanted to do that, pin some damage. He's getting very, very frustrated out there. He's got to contain himself.
I think the only thing that could hold you together in this situation is to see that your opponent, who's another world-class performer, and he's struggling too, so you know it's not just down to you. But a double here puts Leandersson back in pole position, and that looks better. Oh, that's probably the best ball he's bowled in the match so far.
Definitely the best ball he's bowled, and he's got to be really upset he didn't capitalise on that strike he got the previous frame. And you see, even when they find the right adjustment, Lady Luck not smiling on them.
Safely done, but there was a chance there for Leandersson to jump right out in front. One strike through 5 frames for this most consistent of bowlers. For Mack, it's 1 strike through 4, and you just don't know what's coming next.
Once again, Tim finds the right adjustment, but doesn't have the luck to carry either. See the messenger rolling round in front of the 10-pin there, but never looked like it was going to hit it.
But just going back a couple of matches, Richard, how can Dino Castillo make it look so easy? 7 strikes in a row just 2 matches ago for the Texan, and since then Torgerson, Leandersson, Mack, they've all really had a battle.
It starts to present the bowlers with problems, and the ones who win generally are the ones who sort those problems out quickest.
Nothing between them.
I fancy that the first one who makes a double will actually run out the winner in this match.
There's halfway to a double for Leandersson, but don't bet on him getting a double.
Thomas going a lot wider here, and a ball change. Coming back from about the 3 board. Really good pocket hit there. That one was a lot more convincing. But will it carry the next time?
So the Swede gets a strike. The American needs one too, just to keep this slim advantage that he's got. Wide again, there's the hook, there's the strike.
And Tim Mack may well have gone to school there. He's used pretty much the same break point, with equal effect. Of course, Tim with much more hook power, he's come at it from much further on left on the lane than Thomas, but the ball is breaking back to the pocket from pretty much the same region. Maybe they both found something. Are we in for a good match now?
Well, you said the first man to double will probably run away and win it. They're both working a strike now. No.
Well, the last ball Thomas threw out there finished really strongly to a perfect pocket hit. This one's drifted by. Off a tricky little split. Needs to ignore the 5-pin and try and convert the 2-7.
No. It's been a bad game this for Thomas Leandersson.
You see him going straight through the 2-pin on that shot. He needed to get the ball much further left, bounce it to the 7 and knock the 2 onto the 5.
You can barely believe that scoreline, can you? As many open frames as strikes, can you believe that? So, just to reiterate what you were saying again, Richard, first man that gets a double will win. This will be the first double. If Tim Mack can knock all 10 down here. And I think you're right.
There you see Tim managed to repeat the shot, get the ball back strongly to the pocket where Thomas failed. So he's now got a good advantage.
Well, he's got to get a strike here, Thomas.
Thomas just can't find it at all here. He's trying very, very hard to find something that will work, but just everything he tries fails. This happens sometimes.
Well, we saw it happen to Mack, we saw it happen to Torgerson. Now this lane has bitten Thomas Leandersson with a vengeance, and he's missed that one as well, and he is falling apart. you'd have to go a long way back to find the last time Thomas Leandersson bowled 119 through 8 frames of a major competition.
Yes, he probably would. He wouldn't have done it too often, that's for sure.
So it takes all the pressure off Mack. You won't mind that.
Once again, he's just failed to get this one back to the pocket. Too light. Easy spare, so he's already enjoying over 20 pins lead anyway, so. And Thomas opened.
Oh! Well, I just lost for words here. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. And that's just a bad ball from Tim. That's nothing to do with the lane. He just got that one wrong.
Yes, that was a poor shot. The game isn't over, so he needed that spare.
3 open frames for Leandersson, 2 for Mack. They've had as many open frames as strikes between them. What a damning statistic that is.
And you're finding that they're throwing bad spare balls, but that's because their strike ball has got their spare ball under pressure, if you know what I mean. It's the fact they're not striking.
Absolutely.
It makes those spares so much more important. And that just adds to the pressure, and you start to miss a few when you can't strike.
Well, there's the spare, in frame 9. But who'd have believed that Tim Mack would be at 142 after 8 frames and yet be comfortable?
Well, I don't think either player's comfortable, but he's definitely more comfortable than Thomas.
In the sense that he's going to get the point. Well, yeah, you're quite right. This is not what you expect from these two. Not a whole lot wrong with that. But when it's not your night, it's not your night. Really should make this. Does.
He'll say to himself, it doesn't matter, 2 spares is good enough to win the match.
And both these two good mates will be looking at each other and saying, wow.
Yeah, I'm sure that Tim does appreciate that the point is far more important than his own personal pride in the performance in this game.
Strike number 3 of the match for Thomas Leandersson.
Yes, and he's reverted to the sort of shot that he was trying at the start of the game. That shows you how perplexed he is. You've really got to be desperate to go back to something that you've already tried and dismissed.
Well, nothing else was working, was it? Well, maybe another couple of strikes here could just yet put a little
Another
bit
ball
of pressure.
change.
Well, you never know. There's been so many odd things happen in this match. If Leandersson can finish with 3 here, it could get interesting.
Tim will just need a good count, even if Thomas does manage to strike here. But an awful open, something like a big 5.
In this match, I wouldn't put anything beyond the realms of possibility. Well, Leandersson finishes with quite a flourish, it has to be said, to put a gloss of respectability on his final scoreline, but he's not going to want to reflect back on that too often. 169, that is not a misprint. The Team Europe skipper gets a 169. And as you say, barring something absolutely incredible, it won't be enough.
Well, by my reckoning, this gives Tim a 170 to win by 1 pin.
Well, he's not going to put that situation up Yeah, this has been hard work. Very hard work.
See a bit of dust in the air there. That was Tim putting a little drying powder into his ball, patting it down into the thumb hole to make sure his thumb comes out cleanly. Sent a little puff of dust into the air.
Well, I'm not sure it is all the lane, because suddenly with all the pressure off, they're both finding strikes in bunches all of a sudden. It makes you wonder what's going on out there, you know.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a case of relaxation after the game's over, that, you know, the arm loosens up a little bit and all of a
Suddenly
sudden
the strikes are there, yeah. Well, we just got a bit of lighting has gone down, but Tim can see enough. He can see his way clear to a point for Team USA. But if you'd have told Tim Mack that 192 would win it before the match, he would have been amazed. It's a win for Team USA, but the lane was the winner of that one. And the overall standing is Team Europe 10, Team USA 8.